davon noch mehr fein on eBay.
Okay, it's now the end of 2022 and it's less than 5 months until my birthday where I turn 50. And I promised my friends and also myself to do at least 50 tips and tricks and life lessons I would teach to my younger self. So I prepared some cards and let me pick some cards on which I will talk today. So here's confidence on the one side and here is creativity. And that kind of brings me immediately to a wonderful book which is almost 10 years around by David and Tom Kelley, the Kelley brothers who founded IDEO, the D-School, where we got design thinking from, which got all over the world. And I think they were inventing also Apple mouses and other devices. It's a brilliant couple, let's say, of brothers. And they published this book, Creative Confidence, How to Unleash Your Creative Potential. And I really remember David Kelley's TED Talk, where he later, and I really recommend to watch it, later talks about his illness with cancer and being exposed to life and death. And at that point, one question he had is thinking of his daughter. What would the life of his daughter look like if he wouldn't be there anymore? And the other thing was, what if I survive this cancer diagnosis? What is my purpose? What is my mission? What is my calling here on earth? And he said, like, I've experienced so many people in the creative field who were kind of giving up about thinking of themselves as creatives because someone in school or somewhere told you, well, this is not a good idea. So his mission was to teach creative confidence, and at that time it was hard to get the book, and I was so happy to get the book. And they start actually with a study I used at that time in my talks on stages, where IBM at, I don't know, 2010 asked over 1,500 CEOs worldwide, like, what are the biggest problems we're facing? Do you have any ideas how to solve them? And they came all up with one item which they thought is important for the next 10, 20 years. And that was creativity as a leadership competence. And I think since that we saw like the creative industry, the creators economy rising up. But I still think when I go to corporates, there's not so much creativity in the rooms of strategy. So I think we still have a way to go. Looking at my own life, where would I see these pieces come together, and what would I teach to my younger self? I would say, well, confidence builds up, right? So confidence builds up from life experience. And I remember a neuroscientist saying that, you know, life and intuition is nothing less and nothing more than discovering patterns in life. And so I would say, if to gain confidence in the field of creativity, creativity needs room for exploration. Creativity needs space. But from these moments, if you allow in your life to explore your creativity, then confidence will build up from these data points. I make some examples. One example is I did music all my life. I did always in semi-professional, professionally. And I would say whenever I go on a stage, let's say even a corporate or a business stage, and I have to deliver a keynote, a talk, or a workshop, let's say public workshop, then I kind of all the data points that give me confidence at that time are from lots of gigs we did as a band where I was on stage. And I had a microphone or the guitar or the Wurlitzer or Fender Rhodes. So there's lots of data I can rely on where, you know, the circumstances were bad. We were supposed to play at 10 p.m. and it was like 4 in the night. Someone was missing his his instrument or whatever. Some band partner wasn't prepared for the gig and whatever. There are so many things that could kind of go wrong. But somehow we survived that, and somehow a lot of people loved the music or loved the experience. The same is with photography. I do photography now over 10 years, analog photography a lot. I taught it to myself because there was no teacher around at that time. And some of these photos are around the world. So if you look at my Unsplash, you will see some pictures that even sometimes I get a photo from a flyer on Bali or Indonesia. Look, here's like a flyer from a therapist and she uses your photo. So some of these photos got around, And some of these photos I even got paid. But whenever we do as a creative agency something in terms of visual or in the terms of images or in the terms of illustrations, I can rely, let's say, on my eye that I have a perspective to offer. And this builds up confidence. So what would I tell or teach to my younger self in terms of creative confidence or confidence in creativity? I would say, follow your instinct. Give yourself room to discover the patterns and explore creativity even when there's no one to guide you the way. When it looks like no one has touched this for years, whether it was analog photography some years ago, whether it's a new instrument, whether it's a new trend you want to follow, but somehow you will feel something in your inner gut. This is like something you really resonate. And then just follow that. It will pay out. It will pay out later in enormous situations where you wouldn't think that creativity is, let's say, on the table, but it's in the room because of you. Because of your life experiences, because of your, data coming from your life. And then it's wonderful to, rely like confident on your creativity and to bring it into the room. Even if it's a corporate setting, a setting where you wouldn't kind of think of, we have to be creative here, where there's no call for creativity. But your unique voice in that will bring in a unique perspective that might change the whole situation from this moment on. So I hope this was helpful. And these were the 2 points of, let's say, 50 more points or 48 more points to follow. And maybe the next one could be trust or some other cards I have around here. So see you soon. I hope you enjoyed this video.
Sind davon noch mehr Feinlein an eBay?